Hello everyone, today I am here hiking Saddle Mound. Saddle Mound is a huge hill just about 15 miles outside of Black River Falls, Wisconsin. It is a beautiful, huge hill, and it is actually ranked number 12 for the 12th highest mound in Wisconsin. And the best part is, on the top of the hill, there is a 100-foot retired fire tower that we're going to climb today. Alright, so to begin the hike, you're going to come down Saddle Mound Road off of Highway 54. Find a spot where you can park your vehicle off the road. And you want to park by this little truck road, they would call it. And this is where we're going to start our hike from, right off the road on this truck path. As you begin this hike, you start just going straight up the truck road and just follow it. It's definitely beautiful out here today. Great day for a hike. After hiking down this trucking road for a while, come up to this Y where the path splits. Now here you got two options. If you go left that way, it's going to be really steep but short and quick straight up to the top. If you go the straight ahead way, it's going to take a lot longer and it goes way around to the east side, but it's also a lot smoother and flatter and much easier. But for me today, I think I'm going to go up the hard way and then down the easy way so I can make a full circle and we can see all parts. It's hard to see from down here. Straight up on the way top, about 600 feet up there, is the 100-foot fire tower, and we're gonna go there. Coming up the left way here, this is the challenging way. We follow this path and it leads straight up the hill. And camera doesn't really show how steep this is, but if you're thinking about coming out here, you do want to be somewhat in shape and fit because it is a pretty difficult hike. I wouldn't say it's just for an easy go out and go for a walk. I'm already huffing and puffing at the bottom here, and I'm only 18 and ran cross country in the fall, so yeah, it's steep. Here we go, up the hill. If you come here to do this hike, I'd highly recommend a couple of these trekking poles. You might actually need them, especially on the steep way, but even the easy way isn't really easy, it's just not as steep as this one. Here we go, straight up. There you should be able to see kind of some old stone stairs. That is because this mound was mined back in the day, and people actually hiked up here every single day to start work. And they had this big tram trolley car system that would bring stuff up and down. That must be nice because they're not walking with heavy iron and stuff to get up here. try and show you guys how steep this is. I have you guys leveled out, and I'm gonna walk up the hill and we'll see how steep it looks. Well, it still doesn't really capture just how steep it is, but if you want to see how steep it is, just come out here and hike it. Last time I hiked here, I struggled getting up and down especially on the hard way, without falling, and I really needed these sticks. So it's going to be interesting trying to bring you guys along and not fall. Here's where it's going to get even steeper. That was just the start. We've already come from way down there, right where the trail turns off. It's way down there. And just that little bit, we've gone way up, even though you guys can't really tell. And this would be level for you guys. So as you can see, we're just going straight up. If you're adventurous like me and you want to get a really good hike and workout in, this is like the top place to go. Here you can see some of the stone steps from when it was mined. Very cool, but they do help a little bit, but you still slippery, and they're all covered in leaves and stuff. You can see down there behind me where I've come, and still got all that left. You just kind of follow the rocks as you're going up. The best path, in my opinion, for this hike is to go up the hard way, because it is just so cool and you get to experience it. But then the easy way is just so much more fun to come down. You can see the whole thing anyway. Coming down the hard way, I've tried and I made it, but I almost took out my ankles and knees and everything. I was slipping and sliding. I'm gonna throw a rock so you can see. If I take this rock and lightly toss it up, it starts tumbling all the way down. That was just a light toss and it rolled way down there. Continuing up, really, really cool rock to look at. And kind of a switchback here. You gotta climb these ruts and then go up around the corner. It's really nice to have trekking poles. There's kind of a little ledges to put your feet on here and pull yourself up with your sticks. If you had to come down the hill, this is what it looks like when you hike down the hard path. Real slow and careful, and it's still slippery and hard not to fall, so be very careful if you come out here. After you make it up those, continue straight up. I'm going up. Once you're up here by this rock, you can see the tower is right up there. We're getting close. But this has got to be the coolest part of the trail. Because look at this. You come up by this rock, and there's the trail right next to the stone along the path there. Alright guys, this has to be probably one of my favorite parts of the whole trail right here. Going next to the big rock wall. It's really cool. This is one of the reasons taking the hard way is really fun. You get to experience all this part of it too. The other coolest part of the trail is probably right here at the end of the rocks. When you pass that trail, you come all the way around and then straight up these tiny little rock ledges and go all the way back up over the rock you were just on, way up there. If you just watch your step on these rocks and take your time, it's not that bad. A couple trees here you gotta step over. The grand finale is right through this brush. And here we go, we made it to the top. Here's the huge 100-foot tower. It is actually an old fire watch tower. People would watch for the fires around the county on here. And it's way up there. But you'll see when we get up there, the view is awesome. You could definitely watch fires for miles. Nice thing about it is it does have a cage on the ladder since it's so tall. As long as you're not afraid of heights, it'll be fine to climb. It doesn't shake or anything. And they have it open for the summer right now anyway. Alright, we're gonna go up. I'd recommend you leave your trekking poles at the bottom. No need to try to climb with them. And then here it is. Straight up. They have a guide wire here for your hand if you needed it. And then you just keep 3 points of contact, and I guess if you're scared of heights, don't look down. Alright, mid-climb update. We're close to the top. A long ways from the bottom. Probably wouldn't recommend hanging on by one hand and filming, but I guess you gotta live. Alright, once you make it up the big tube, you get to a platform, and the view is stunning. It's crazy. But it gets even better, because then there's another ladder up into the bottom, and you can go up inside. Let's go in there. We made it in. Here's the little trap door. It has a padlock, so I'm sure they like lock it in the winter and stuff. The only thing up here other than the trap door is this old rusty chair. Still works. But a couple of the windows are knocked out. Better not drop you guys. But there's the platform and the ladder. And look at that view. There's ponds and marshes. Potter's Flowage is way over there. We got a couple more flowages that way. Black River's over that way. Can't quite see that far. So you can't quite see 15 miles, but it's got to be pretty close. And you can see Highway 54 down there. That's the road we came in on. You can actually see the fire tower when you drive past. I'm sure many of you have seen the fire tower. If you've ever wondered what it was, it's old watchtower for fires, and you can actually climb up in here. It's just awesome up here though. It's not too windy tonight. Last time I was here, it was really windy, but this thing doesn't shake at all. You don't have to really be worried. I bet the sunsets up here would be awesome. Come up here right at dusk. That'd be pretty cool. You can see for miles and miles and miles. Well, guys, I've taken in the view up here, and I think I'm going to start heading back down now. I got to climb back down, and then I'll show you the easy path, and we'll go all the way back around and back to the truck. You know, one thing I don't like about it is the ladder has these L shapes. So when you're climbing up and down, it like really hurts in here, especially if you go up and down a couple times. But they made it to last, so they weren't probably worried about that. It's lasted here for years and years and years. All right, so we just came up from over there. Here's the tower, we're underneath it. And then if you go through the tower and over this way, you can take the easier path down. Here we go. You can tell that you don't start going down right away from the tower up here. You actually get to walk along the ridge. So it's still really cool views from here. It's just blocked by the trees a little bit. Cruising along, making good time. The nice things about these trails is they're pretty easy to follow. Like, even though they're not really like marked with signs or anything, you can tell where you're going, and that's nice. You shouldn't get lost. The only hard part is when you're at the Y at the bottom. If you go the long way up here, it seems like it takes forever to actually get around, so you feel like you're lost for a little bit. You just stay on that trucker's road and it eventually comes around. Still got to be really careful. It is still really steep and slippery. So I wouldn't really say this is easy. Just comparing it to the other path, it is easier. Look at this view through the trees and this way. It's quite a long path along this ridge here. It's really cool. Now here's probably the coolest part of the longer, easier path. You come out to this huge plateau and the view is just about as good as from up in the tower. You're just not quite as high. And then there's this handrail, goes along here and then straight down these big, huge stone stairs. But there's a handrail, so it's pretty cool. And then the end of the old trucking road is down there that you can follow all the way back around, but you couldn't probably drive trucks up here anymore. It's all washed out. Through here, you could either use the handrail or use your hiking sticks. Climb down all the rocks. They're nice and flat. Here might be the worst part of the easier route because it's a straight downhill, slippery, sandy slope. And if you just go sideways and slow and use your trekking pole, you can make it. But it is really slick. Really, really cool though. This isn't really that steep. Most people could hike this. Once you make it past the sand gully, it goes straight down this little woods gully. Much, much less steep than the way we came up. Once you make it down all the steep stuff in the valley, you're back on a flat trail, the truck road, and you just walk this all the way back. But it is a lot longer back to the road from here than it is on the faster way. So if you're gonna take the easy way right from the start and you keep following the truck road from there, you'll eventually come down to this Y, which is different, and you'll just turn off to the left where you see a straight path up. All right, guys, I've come up to some little turnaround parking type area somewhat. If you're going the easy way, going down the road, you should see this to your left as you're going, and this is not your turn. You just keep going straight. This little thing here isn't much past Y, which is right up here that we took for the hard way. There's the hard way out there. You can see the tower good. We were just way up there, and we hiked it straight up there, and we came all the way around and back down this trail. And now we just head this trail right back out to the road. Just like that, we're back to the road. In about an hour and a half, you can go up and around comfortably at a decent pace and stop in the tower for a little while and look around. If you're a little bit slower, you can take probably 2 hours it would take. Yeah, but if you're going the easy way both ways, I guess it might take even a little bit longer. But yeah, it's not that long. It takes about 25 to 30 minutes to get here from Black River. So you can come out here if you have 3-4 hours in an evening. Have a wonderful time. If you guys liked this video, be sure to leave a comment of if you've ever hiked here or where you like to hike at your local areas. Hopefully you guys all have a great rest of your day or evening or morning whenever you're watching this. And for now, Tandy Outdoors out.